Every morning when you wake up, before the world places its demands on you, you must place a demand on yourself. Because if you don't tell your heart what to believe, your circumstances will tell you what to fear. Every single day is a battle of voices. One voice says you can't, the other says you can. One says you're weak, the other says you're strong. And if you are not intentional about what you tell yourself, you will find yourself living under the weight of lies instead of standing on the power of truth. So I want to give you 9 things to tell yourself every single day. These are not suggestions, these are declarations. These are not whispers of insecurity. These are bold affirmations of destiny. You don't speak them out of where you are. You speak them out of where you're going. Every single one of us wakes up each day with a choice. We can either let the world dictate who we are, what we believe, and how far we will go, or we can take charge of our own narrative and declare the truth that shapes our destiny. Too many people live their lives waiting on circumstances to change before they open their mouths to speak life. Let me tell you this, destiny doesn't just happen. Destiny is declared. Destiny is built with the words that you speak into the atmosphere before your feet even hit the floor in the morning. Think about it for a moment. When you wake up, your mind is like fresh soil. What you plant first will take root and grow throughout the day. If the first thing you say is, I'm tired, I can't do this, today will be hard, then don't be surprised when exhaustion, frustration, and defeat start following you like shadows. If you open your mouth and declare, today I am strong, I am capable, I am favored, I am focused, and I will win, then you begin to shape your world with power, confidence, and direction. Your declarations become seeds, and seeds grow into harvests. See, life will always try to throw you off track. The voices around you will always try to convince you that you don't have what it takes. Some people will remind you of your past failures. Others will criticize your dreams. If you spend every day echoing what they say instead of declaring what you know to be true, you'll always lie beneath your potential. Your declarations are not about ignoring reality. They are about speaking into your reality until it changes. When you declare strength and weakness, it doesn't mean you don't feel tired. It means you choose not to be defined by fatigue. When you declare peace in chaos, it doesn't mean the storm disappears instantly. It means you've decided the storm will not control your spirit. When you declare victory, it doesn't mean you won't face battles. It means you've already decided how the battle will end. Your declarations set the tone for your destiny. Understand this, what comes out of your mouth shapes what comes into your life. Words are not just sounds, they are forces. They are containers of power. Every time you declare something over yourself, you are releasing energy that has the power to shift environments, attract opportunities, and repel negativity. That's why it is so dangerous to constantly speak doubt, fear, and defeat over your life, because your life will start aligning with what you say. If you keep declaring you're broken, you'll live broken. If you keep declaring you're unlucky, you'll live without favor. If you dare to declare every day, I am whole, I am blessed, I am unstoppable, then life begins to bend in the direction of your words. Daily declarations are not just motivational phrases, they are construction tools. Every word you declare is like a brick laid on the foundation of your destiny. Some of you have been tearing down your own house with your tongue. You keep saying, I'll never make it. I'll never be good enough. Nothing ever works for me. And you wonder why your life feels like it's collapsing. But if you change your language, you change your life. Start saying, I will rise, I will succeed, I will build, I will win. Keep speaking it, keep declaring it, and brick by brick, your destiny starts to take shape. Tell you, destiny doesn't wait on perfect circumstances, it waits on consistent declarations. Consistency is the difference maker. Saying something once won't move the mountain, but saying it every day builds faith, discipline, and momentum. When you wake up and declare over yourself every single day, you begin to reprogram your mind, train your emotions, and prepare your spirit for greatness. Even when nothing changes on the outside, something shifts on the inside. And the inside shift always comes before the outside breakthrough. Think about the most successful people in the world. They don't just stumble into greatness. They discipline their thoughts, their habits, and most importantly, their words. They declare their future long before they see it. They speak life into their dreams when nobody else believes. They declare victory when defeat looks inevitable. That's the secret. What you keep declaring with conviction eventually becomes what you are living. Some of you are waiting for someone else to speak encouragement into your life. But what if they never do? What if the people around you never see your value, never celebrate your progress, never believe in your vision? That's why you have to be your own encourager. That's why you must declare your own destiny. Stop waiting for validation and start declaring transformation. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You need to agree with yourself. Every day you look in the mirror, don't just see the flaws, don't just see the mistakes, don't just see the scars. See the fighter. See the survivor. See the dreamer. See the one who refuses to quit. Then open your mouth and declare it. Say, I am more than what I've been through. I am not who I was yesterday. I am becoming better, stronger, wiser. You've got to declare it until you believe it, and believe it until you live it. Remember this, daily declarations are not about ignoring pain, but about giving pain a purpose. They are not about denying obstacles, about declaring that obstacles won't stop you. They are not about pretending everything is perfect, but about speaking faith until what's broken becomes whole. Destiny belongs to those who dare to declare it every day, even when life doesn't look like it yet. So I challenge you today, stop letting negative thoughts dominate your mornings. Stop letting fear dictate your decisions. Stop letting doubt control your destiny. Instead, build a new rhythm. Build a habit of waking up and declaring life over yourself. Say it when you feel strong, and say it when you feel weak. Say it when the doors are opening, and say it when every door seems shut, because consistency in declarations creates consistency in destiny. Before you accomplish anything significant in life, before you build, before you lead, before you succeed, you must first know who you are. Identity always comes before achievement. Too many people chase accomplishments, chase recognition, chase the applause of others, yet deep down they don't know who they are. When you don't know who you are, even the highest achievements will feel empty, because you will always be looking for something external to validate what's missing internally. Achievement without identity is fragile, crumbles under pressure. You can win awards, earn wealth, gather followers, still feel lost if you haven't discovered the foundation of your true identity. That's why you see people who seemingly have it all, still restless, still unsatisfied, still searching. Because achievement alone cannot fill the void of not knowing who you are. Your identity is the root. Your achievement is the fruit. If the root is unstable, the fruit won't last. If the root is strong, the fruit will flourish in its season. Many people try to bypass the root and focus only on the fruit. They want the outcome without the foundation, the platform without the process, the glory without the grounding. But destiny doesn't work that way. You must know who you are before you step into what you're called to do. Identity gives direction. Identity tells you what to say yes to and what to walk away from. Identity silences the noise of comparison. When you know who you are, you don't waste energy trying to be who you are not. You don't stretch yourself thin chasing every opportunity, because you understand not every open door is your door. Identity gives you clarity about your lane, your calling, your assignment. Clarity becomes the fuel that drives your achievements. Look around in this generation, and you'll see so many people measuring themselves by other people's success. One person is running a business, so they think they should run one too. Another person is traveling the world, so they think they should pack their bags. Another is building a brand, so they rush to build one too. What if that's not your lane? What if that's not your assignment? What if your identity is pulling you in a different direction? When you don't know who you are, you'll always be swayed by what others are doing. But when you are rooted in your identity, you can celebrate others while staying true to yourself. Identity is not about titles, positions, or achievements. Titles can be taken away, positions can shift. and achievements fade with time. Identity is deeper. Identity is who you are when everything is stripped away. Identity is what remains when the applause stops and the lights go out. Identity is the unshakable truth about you that no loss, no rejection, and no failure can erase. Achievement is seasonal, but identity is eternal. You may achieve one thing today and something else tomorrow, but your identity remains constant. That's why it's dangerous to tie your worth to what you accomplish. If you only feel valuable when you're achieving, what happens when you face setbacks? What happens when success takes longer than expected? What happens when your plans fall apart? If your identity is tied to achievement, then failure will crush you. But if your identity is rooted in something deeper, failure will not define you. It will refine you. Identity strengthens resilience. When you know who you are, you can face rejection without collapsing. You can endure criticism without losing your mind. You can walk through seasons of waiting without giving up, because your identity reminds you, even if I haven't achieved it yet, I'm still valuable. Even if the door hasn't opened, I'm still worthy. Even if people don't recognize me, I still know who I am. That kind of confidence is unshakable, and it is what carries you to true achievement. Many people make the mistake of thinking that once they achieve something, then they will finally feel secure. If I get this degree, then I'll be respected. If I earn this salary, then I'll feel important. If I buy this house, then I'll prove myself. If I reach this milestone, finally be enough. But the truth is, no achievement will ever silence insecurity if you don't first root yourself in identity. In fact, the more you achieve, the louder insecurity becomes, because now you're terrified of losing what you gained. But when your identity comes first, your achievements become expressions of who you already are, not desperate attempts to prove yourself. Identity empowers achievement instead of being enslaved by it. When you know who you are, your achievements flow naturally out of your purpose. They are not forced. They are not about competing or impressing. They are about fulfilling what you were uniquely designed to do. Identity sets the foundation. Achievement becomes the overflow. This is why the most powerful thing you can ever do is discover, embrace, and declare your identity before you chase after achievement. Because once you know who you are, you will stop living for approval and start living from assurance. You will stop chasing after success as if it defines you and start creating success because it expresses you. You will stop being driven by fear of failure and start being driven by a conviction that nothing can stop you from fulfilling your assignment. Identity is the compass, achievement is the journey. If you lose your compass, you will wander, even if you walk fast. If you carry your compass, you will find your way, even if it takes time. Too many people are running fast but running lost because they're chasing achievements without ever anchoring an identity. But when you put identity first, even slow steps are steady steps. Even delays become preparation. Even struggles become lesson because identity transforms the way you see the journey. So hear this. Identity comes before achievement. Discover who you are before you chase what you want. Root yourself in identity before you run after opportunity. Build your foundation before you reach for the platform. Because when your identity is secure, your achievements will not only be greater, they will also last longer. You won't be shaken by rejection. You won't collapse under pressure. You won't measure your worth by the applause of others. Instead, you will walk in confidence, clarity, and conviction, knowing that achievements come and go, but identity endures forever. And when you achieve from that place of identity, your success will not just be about you, it will be about legacy. Because true achievement is not about what you accumulate, but about what you contribute. You can only contribute authentically when you are grounded in identity. So stop asking, what do I need to achieve to prove myself? And start asking, who am I, and how can my achievements flow from that truth? Once you answer that, you will discover that identity doesn't just come before achievement. Identity transforms achievement. It turns success into purpose, accomplishments into impact, and milestones into legacy. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a force. It is more than simply saying, thank you. Gratitude is a posture, a mindset, a way of seeing the world that transforms not only how you live, also what you attract into your life. Gratitude is a magnet. When you live with a grateful spirit, you begin to draw opportunities, favor, peace, growth into your atmosphere. That's why gratitude is not optional for those who want to rise higher. It is essential. Gratitude attracts growth. Too often we believe growth comes from working harder, hustling longer, or striving endlessly. And while discipline and effort matter, many people exhaust themselves trying to grow while missing one of the greatest catalysts, gratitude. Because gratitude shifts your focus. Gratitude changes your perspective. Gratitude turns what you have into more than enough. And when you steward what you already have with thankfulness, you open the door for increase. Look at how most people live. They spend their days complaining about what they lack, rehearsing what went wrong, comparing themselves to others, and magnifying everything that's missing. But here's the truth. Complaining never multiplies blessings. Complaining blinds you to the opportunities right in front of you. Complaining shrinks your vision, weakens your faith, locks you in a cycle of dissatisfaction. On the other hand, gratitude multiplies blessings. Gratitude expands vision. Gratitude strengthens faith. Gratitude unlocks growth. Think about it. Growth begins with awareness, and gratitude sharpens your awareness. When you choose to be grateful, you start to see what others overlook. You notice the doors that are already open. You recognize the relationships that are already valuable. You celebrate the progress you've already made. And from that awareness, you build momentum. Gratitude doesn't just make you feel better, it makes you see better. And when you see better, you grow better. Gratitude is also a guard. It protects your heart from bitterness, envy, and entitlement. Nothing kills growth faster than jealousy and comparison. The moment you spend your energy measuring your life against someone else's, you rob yourself of the strength you need to cultivate your own lane. When you choose gratitude, you break free from that trap. Gratitude says, don't need what they have to be fulfilled. I already have more than enough to become who I'm called to be. Gratitude silences insecurity and allows growth to flourish. Some people think gratitude is passive, as if it's just sitting back and accepting whatever life hands you. But gratitude is not weakness. It's wisdom. Gratitude doesn't mean you stop dreaming or striving for more. It means you celebrate where you are while preparing for where you're going. Gratitude doesn't stunt growth, it fuels it. Because when you are grateful for little, you prove you are ready for much. Gratitude is stewardship. It's saying, I will treat what I have now as valuable even before I step into the next level. And when you treat small beginnings with honor, you attract bigger opportunities. Growth is never just about external success. It's about internal development. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to grow internally. When you live in gratitude, you develop resilience, patience, humility, and joy. You stop being shaken by every storm because you've learned to find something to be thankful for even in the rain. You stop being defined by setbacks, because gratitude reminds you that even in loss, you still have lessons. You stop being consumed by what's missing, because gratitude trains you to see what's present. That kind of inner growth is what positions you for outer success. Think about seasons of difficulty. It's easy to be grateful when everything is working out, when money is flowing, when relationships are thriving, when doors are opening. But real growth comes when you can be grateful even in the waiting, even in the struggle, even in the uncertainty. Gratitude in the valley prepares you for elevation on the mountaintop. Because if you can thank God for the lessons in lack, you'll know how to handle the abundance and overflow. Gratitude attracts growth because it teaches you to thrive in every season, not just the easy ones. Gratitude also strengthens relationships. Growth is not just about personal progress, it's about the connections you build along the way. Nobody wants to invest in, support, or elevate someone who is always bitter, negative, or ungrateful. But gratitude draws people toward you. Grateful person inspires others, uplifts environments, and carries an energy that people want to be around. And relationships are often the bridge to greater growth. One connection, one mentor, one partnership can accelerate your destiny, but gratitude is what attracts and sustains those connections. On a deeper level, gratitude aligns you with faith. To be grateful is to acknowledge that what you have is already a gift. Gratitude recognizes that you didn't make it this far by yourself. It builds humility that keeps your heart soft. Gratitude reminds you that every step, every breath, every breakthrough is grace. The more you acknowledge grace, the more grace flows into your life. That's why gratitude is so powerful. It attracts divine growth, not just human growth. Here's the challenge: gratitude is not automatic. It must be intentional. Life will always give you reasons to complain, reasons to doubt, reasons to focus on what's wrong. That's why gratitude must be a daily discipline. You don't wait until you feel like it. You declare it until you believe it. You wake up and say, I am grateful for another day. You look at your family and say, I am grateful for love. You look at your progress and say, I am grateful I'm not where I used to be. The more you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes. And the more natural it becomes, more growth you attract. Gratitude creates a cycle. The more grateful you are, the more you grow. The more you grow, the more you have to be grateful for. And the cycle keeps building, lifting you higher and higher. That's why some people seem unstoppable, because they refuse to live in negativity. They choose gratitude, and gratitude keeps fueling their growth. So let me remind you, gratitude attracts growth. Don't wait until everything is perfect to be thankful. Don't wait until you achieve the big goals to celebrate. Start right here, right now. Be grateful for what you already have and watch how your life begins to expand. Gratitude doesn't just change how you feel. It changes what you attract, prepares your heart for increase, positions your spirit for breakthrough, and builds the foundation for lasting success. Every person has dreams. Every person carries visions of a better life, greater opportunities, and higher levels of success. But dreams by themselves do not change anything. A dream without discipline is just a fantasy, and vision without focus is nothing more than a distraction. The difference between people who wish and people who win, between those who talk about what they could be and those who actually become it, is found in two words: discipline and focus. Discipline is the ability to do what must be done even when you don't feel like it. Focus is the ability to direct all of your energy toward what truly matters, ignoring the noise and distractions along the way. Together, form the bridge between imagination and reality. Without discipline and focus, dreams remain locked in your head. But when you apply them daily, they unlock the doors of achievement. Winners are not necessarily the most talented, the most gifted, or the most connected. They are the most disciplined and the most focused. Let's talk about the discipline first. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not often feel exciting. Discipline means waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It means studying when everyone else is out playing. It means sacrificing temporary comfort for long-term gain. Discipline is the price you pay for the life you want to live. Many people pray for greatness, hope for success, and desire growth, but when it comes time to pay the price of discipline, they shrink back. They want the crown, but not the cross, the reward, but not the routine. But winners understand that discipline is not punishment, it is preparation. Every time you discipline yourself, you are preparing your character to handle the weight of your destiny. Think of an athlete. They don't become champions simply because they have talent. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps them in the game. It's the hours of training when nobody is watching, the strict diet when others are indulging, the repeated drills when fatigue sets in. That daily discipline is what separates the average from the extraordinary, and the same is true in life. Whether it's building a career, leading a business, writing a book, or creating financial stability, it takes discipline to keep showing up, to keep putting in the work, to keep saying no to distractions and yes to consistency. Now let's talk about focus. Focus is the lens that directs your energy. Without focus, even disciplined effort can be wasted. Focus means knowing what matters most and giving it your undivided attention. It means cutting out what is unnecessary so that you can pour into what is essential. Too many people fail not because they lack potential, but because they are distracted. They are trying to do too many things at once, chasing too many opportunities, saying yes to too many voices. They are busy, They are not productive. Their energy is scattered and their progress is slow. Winners understand that you cannot chase everything and expect to achieve anything. You must be focused. Focus requires clarity. You have to know your goal. You have to know your purpose. If you don't know where you're going, every road will look tempting, but not every road leads to destiny. Focus gives you the ability to say, this may be good, but it's not good for me. This may be exciting, but it's not aligned with my purpose. This may be attractive, but it doesn't belong in my season. When you live with focus, you conserve energy for what truly matters. That is what accelerates your progress. Discipline and focus together create unstoppable momentum. Discipline trains you to keep going. Focus ensures you're going in the right direction. Discipline builds the habits. Focus aligns those habits with purpose. Discipline gives you the strength to endure. Focus gives you the wisdom to prioritize. Without one, the other is incomplete. You can be disciplined but unfocused, working hard but in the wrong direction. Or you can be focused but undisciplined, clear about your goal but inconsistent in your effort. When you combine both, you become unstoppable. This is why some people never move beyond dreaming. They talk about what they imagine a better life. They describe their goals. They even get excited about the possibilities, but they never put discipline and focus behind their words. They procrastinate, they get distracted, they quit when it gets hard, and so their dreams remain dreams. Winners, on the other hand, don't just talk. They take action. They wake up early, stay committed, eliminate distractions, and keep pushing forward even when progress is slow. Their discipline and focus transform dreams into reality. Discipline and focus also require sacrifice. You cannot have it all at once. You must be willing to let go of some things to gain greater things. Discipline demands you sacrifice comfort. Focus demands you sacrifice distraction. Together, they ask you to choose between what feels good now and what produces good later. Every winner has had to walk away from temporary pleasures to embrace permanent purpose. Every winner has had to miss out on something small to step into something great. The beauty of discipline and focus is that over time, they create freedom. At first, discipline feels restrictive and focus feels limiting. But as you stay consistent, you begin to reap the rewards. Discipline builds habits that free you from chaos. Focus builds clarity that frees you from confusion. And together, they produce results that free you from regret. The people who seem to live with ease today are often the ones who paid the price of discipline and focus yesterday. And let's be clear, discipline and focus are not about perfection. You will stumble. You will have days when you fall short. But winners get back up. Winners refuse to let failure break their rhythm. Winners don't give up when it gets hard. They double down. They adjust. They refocus. They recommit because they know that every day of discipline and every ounce of focus adds up, compounding into growth, success, and achievement. So if you want to separate yourself, if you want to move from dreaming to winning, from hoping to achieving, you must embrace discipline and focus. Ask yourself, what habits do I need to build? What distractions do I need to cut off? What routines must I commit to daily? What goals must I give my undivided attention? The answers to those questions will determine whether your dreams stay in your imagination or become your reality. Discipline and focus are the great separators. They draw the line between those who almost made it and those who actually made it. They decide who talks about success and who lives success. They distinguish the dreamers from the winners. Victory is not something you stumble into by accident. It is not something that surprises you one morning when life finally turns in your favor. Victory is intentional. Victory is spoken before it is experienced. Victory is declared before it is seen. If you wait until the battle is over to start declaring victory, you are already behind. True winners declare their triumph while the fight is still raging, while the storm is still raging, while the obstacles still stand in front of them. Life has a way of testing you. The challenges will rise, the setbacks will come, and the opposition will show up at your doorstep. But if you wait for perfect circumstances to declare your victory, you may never open your mouth, because there will always be something in your life that doesn't look like success yet. There will always be evidence that suggests defeat. That's why declaration comes before manifestation. You have to say it before you see it. When you declare victory, you're not denying the struggle, you are defying it. You are standing in the middle of chaos and announcing, this will not break me. This will not define me. I will come out on top. That declaration is not just words, it is a shift in posture. It is you refusing to bow down to fear. It is you telling your heart to believe even when your eyes can't see the outcome yet. Because your words create your atmosphere. If you constantly speak defeat, you will live defeated. If you constantly rehearse negativity, you will attract negativity. When you open your mouth with boldness and declare victory, you begin to change the environment around you. You train your mind to expect triumph. You prepare your spirit to endure the battle. You invite strength, courage, and faith into your space. Think about it like planting a seed. When you declare victory, you are planting the seed of triumph in the soil of your life. You may not see the harvest immediately. The seed is working underground. The roots are spreading, the stem is rising, and eventually the fruit will appear. But if you never plant the seed, you'll never reap the harvest. Declaring victory is how you plant the seed of success long before it shows up on the surface. Too often, people wait until they see progress before they open their mouth. They say, I'll declare victory once the job comes through. I'll declare victory once the bills are paid. I'll declare victory once I'm healed, once I'm restored, once I'm successful. But that is not how faith works. That is not how destiny works. You must declare victory when your account is still empty, when your body is still weak, when your relationships are still broken, when the dream still looks impossible. Because real victory is birthed in faith, not in evidence. Declaring victory before it is seen also builds resilience. When you speak triumph in the middle of the trial, you give yourself strength to endure. Every time you declare, I will win, you are reminding your soul not to give up. Every time you declare, this too shall pass, you are lifting yourself out of despair. Every time you declare, I'm coming out stronger, you are refusing to let the battle bury you. The more you declare, the stronger you become. And the stronger you become, the more prepared you are to actually walk into the victory you've been speaking about. Your declaration intimidates the opposition. It confuses the enemy, silences the voice of doubt. Because when you declare victory, you are refusing to agree with defeat. You are saying, I know what it looks like, but I also know who I am. I know the odds are against me, but I also know I'm built to overcome. That kind of boldness shifts the atmosphere. That kind of confidence attracts breakthroughs. Some people might think declaring victory before it's seen as foolish. They'll say, you're just pretending. You're lying to yourself. You're ignoring reality. But the truth is, you're not lying. You're leading. You are leading your mind, your emotions, and your future with your words. You're saying, I refuse to let reality dictate my destiny. I refuse to let current circumstances determine my final outcome. Declaring victory is not about ignoring reality. It's about declaring a greater reality that has not yet manifested. And here's the secret: your life will always move in the direction of your declarations. If you declare defeat, you move toward defeat. If you declare mediocrity, you live in mediocrity. But if you declare victory, even when the odds are stacked against you, you move toward triumph. Your words create momentum. Your declarations create alignment. Your voice has power. Winners understand this. That's why they don't just talk about what's happening now. They talk about what will happen next. They don't just describe their struggles, they declare their success. They don't just repeat the problem, they declare the solution. Because they know that victory begins with declaration. And let's be honest, declaring victory is not always easy. There will be moments when everything in you wants to stay silent, when the weight of life feels too heavy, when the evidence of defeat seems overwhelming. Those are the exact moments when your declaration matters most. Anyone can celebrate when the battle is over. Anyone can declare victory when the trophy is in their hands. But true champions declare it in advance. They say, even though I haven't seen it yet, I know it's mine. Even though I'm still in the fight, I know I will come out on top. That kind of faith is what separates survivors from victors. So today, your mouth and declare victory. Speak it over your family. Speak it over your future. Speak it over your finances. Speak it over your health. Speak it over your dreams. Say, I will win. I will overcome. I will succeed. I will rise. Don't just think it, say it. Don't just hope it. Declare it. Because every time you declare victory, you are shaping your future, attracting your breakthrough, and building the confidence that carries you forward. Victory is not just what happens at the end of the journey. It's what you declare all along the way. And if you dare to declare it before you see it, you will one day wake up and realize that what you've been saying all along has become the life you are now living.